Cape Swoosh Productions presents, in association with WMSC 90.3 FM, Kingdom Come, the complete audio epic. Written by Alex Ross and Mark Waid. Adapted by Rob Dickerson with Jeremy Doyle. Chapter 1, Strange Visitor.
There were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. There fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp. And I beheld an angel saying with a loud voice, Woe! Woe! Woe to the inhabitants of the earth!
It's in the Revelation of St. John. All of it. I can go on. There's more.
That's enough, Wesley.
I see things, Norman. Divine prophecies.
Nightmares, Wesley. You've had them before.
Not nightmares, Pastor. Visions.
Wesley, they're not.
7 thunders will utter their voices, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Babylon falls, Norman. Be the one who listens to me. Sands run out, and I can do nothing but wait in my own filth for sleep to finally claim me. Someone must act.
Wesley, please, old friend, take comfort. There is peace awaiting.
For me, not for you. Hear me, Norman. I owe you much. Yet I have nothing left to leave you, save insight. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses. Be my witness, Pastor. Read the word of God.
Wesley.
It's all there. The end is near. Read the book. Read it!
First Corinthians is. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. There was more, but Wesley never heard it. In the end, he was listening to another voice from Lord knows where. My service was brief, his mourners few. My wife and I had met Wesley in his twilight, and had been the last of his friends. He came to our church questioning what there was to believe in these days. I wish now I had better answers. We shared many a dinner together, the 3 of us. Ellen, God rest her, would tease Wesley mercilessly about living in the past. And in the next, beg him to spin another tale of his, as she'd put it, glory days. Sometimes I wish I'd had more time to listen with her. Wes's stories were dreams of yesterdays, not tomorrows. Of times bright, not barbaric. Once upon a time, he said, he called himself the Sandman. He was a superhero. Before the bitterness overcame him, Wesley and I would walk, pick our way through the city. For hours he'd bemoan the passing of things like the Olympics and Nobel Prizes. Sometimes he'd ambush complete strangers and ask them how they missed the concept of human achievement. I don't know what surprised me more, the oddity of the question, or the growing number of people who seemed to know what he was talking about. Wesley insisted that human initiative began to erode the day people asked a new breed to face the future for him. He mocked their worth, these newcomers, and spoke instead of legends gone, of costumed champions who, in his day, inspired human achievement, not belittled it. He wanted them to be remembered. He wanted them to live again.
Good afternoon, citizen. How may I serve you?
So what do you think? Not a bad job on the tights, huh? Tell me I make a pretty good green what do you call him? He had the ring and the glowing powers. Right, Arrow.
Welcome to Planet Krypton, the world's most super restaurant.
Oh, the American way, Reuben. Hold the truth, justice, on Zion.
The Sandman had gone to his grave without one grain of faith in the future. And the saddest part was, he was far from alone. With each passing day, hope for tomorrow has become more and more precious a commodity amongst everyday folk. Still, I try to keep the faith and hew to the scriptures. According to the word of God, the meek would one day inherit the earth. Someday. But God never accounted for the mighty.
Run! The Meadows are fighting again!
Which ones are the good guys?
Who can tell?
The world Wesley left is filled not with his heroes, but with their children and grandchildren. They number in the nameless thousands, progeny of the past, inspired by the legends of those who came before, if not their morals. They no longer fight for right. They only fight to fight their foes or each other. The superhumans boast that they've all but eliminated the supervillains of yesteryear. Small comfort. They move freely through the streets, through the world. They are challenged, but unopposed. They are, after all, our protectors. I tell myself that this too shall pass, that humans have a chance to reclaim a world rightfully theirs while it still exists. That in the face of superhuman might and odds, time has not yet run out for humanity.
Breaking news. Tragedy in the Midwest today as Kansas. It's gone. They're all gone. God help us.
I am wrong. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And he opened the bottomless pit, and the sun and air were darkened. Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. He... Forgive me, everyone. This isn't what I wanted to read today. Forgive me. As the congregation leaves, they shy away from my gaze. They've trusted me for years, and today I betrayed them. In mourning, unable to fathom the news that stopped the world, they came to me, seeking for encouragement that I cannot give. The news, Kansas. Wesley knew. His visions, his prophecies, the dreams. I thought he was insane. But if he was, then so now am I. His dreams are now mine, and they are visions of utter despondence. He wanted someone to act, but what can anyone do? Kansas proved it. Thanks to the superhumans, the end is near. And word of God, so very far away. What is that? Coming through the wall.
I have need of you, Norman McCay.
And now the visions talk to me. I've gone mad.
Hardly. In fact, your sanity may be paramount to mankind's survival. And of all the things to fear, a spectre in a green hood standing before you may be the least of them. Even as I stand before you, an act of unspeakable evil has begun to manifest. Armageddon is fast approaching. But you know this. You have the dreams.
You see into my mind, my soul. You are an angel.
Of a sort. A higher power has charged me with the task of punishing those responsible for this coming evil. I am the spirit of God's righteous vengeance, the Spectre. Long ago, I would have judged swiftly, with clarity, but my faculties are not what they once were. In order to carry out my task, I must anchor myself to a human whose soul seeks justice.
But I don't.
You will.
If this is true, if this is not some delusion, then why me?
Because I came too late in search of the dreamer Wesley Dodds. He saw tomorrow with a power he did not understand, but passed to you nonetheless. Now your dreams will guide us both. In order to fulfill my mission, we must both witness the events that will lead to Armageddon. Come with me.
I cannot simply leave. My congregation depends on me. They look to me for...
For what?
Very well. But explain this to me. If you are truly a being of great power, how is it you can find no way to avert this catastrophe?
That is not my task. Once, Earth boasted other saviors who might have stemmed the tide of destruction. But as you will see, they are no longer the solution. They are in many ways the problem.
Where are we?
What do you see?
I see a Midwestern farmland, but that's not possible.
There is no need to lower your voice. We cannot be seen or heard, not even by him.
The farmer looks familiar.
He should, though he is not of this world. He came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men.
He just lifted an entire tractor over his head. Could it?
You know him by a name he has not used in 10 years.
Superman.
Not since he began his self-imposed exile.
I remember. He left Metropolis. Something happened. A trial? I can't remember what was involved, but I recall a sense of inevitability. Obviously, whatever happened drove him here. But by God, he's so alone.
Not always.
Hello, Clark. Cal.
Diana, haven't seen you in months. What brings you to the farm?
The vain hope that you're not still here.
These are my roots.
You can't live forever in solitude.
I'm Superman. I can do anything.
Except apparently face your fear.
I'm not afraid of him.
I didn't mean him. I meant... Cal, you've lost so much since I first met you.
Earthlings die. You know that.
They were your parents, Clark. Cal. And she was your wife. Don't call them Earthlings. Hear me out. I
have work to do, Diana. Here things grow.
Really? Think again. You can't live in a hologram of your fortress forever, Cal.
You're spooking the animals.
At least I'm provoking a reaction in something. Listen to me, damn it. I've come with news. From the outside. Bad news. It's shaken the world. Cal, he's out of control.
I tried to tell them that 10 years ago.
And they didn't listen, I know. Stop punishing them.
I'm not interested.
I see. Do you live in nothing but lies? Here are 2 words. See if they sound familiar. Truth. Justice. You can't have completely forgotten them. Just see for yourself. See what he has let happen to the world. That is all I ask. And steel yourself.
Telescreens on.
The inconceivable tragedy in Kansas began with Magog.
Magog.
The fight began in St. Louis, where Magog and his Justice Battalion descended upon the weathered parasite. The battle raged to wheat fields of Kansas, where witnesses characterized the parasite as fearful and confused. His pleas for mercy ignored, many speculate that tragedy might have been averted had Magog relented. Onlookers were staggered and yet not surprised by the ferocity of Magog's attack. Magog, one of the new breed of superheroes, is known to many as the one responsible for Superman's farewell to Metropolis. The parasite, his surrender refused and panicked by the vicious beating, unleashed a desperate attack towards the nuclear-powered Captain Atom. We now bring you these last moments, brought to you by a cameraman on scene. Warning: this footage is not recommended for younger viewers. Please, have children leave the room now.
No, get away! What the? Oh my god, the parasite has split Captain Atom open! He split him open! He split the atom!
Early reports indicate immediate casualties numbering close to 1 million, as the dying Captain Atom's radioactive energy swept hundreds of miles, rendering the entire state of Kansas, as well as parts of Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri, an irradiated wasteland. The total loss of America's breadbasket has thrown the world economy into near collapse in the face of global famine. Magog, sole survivor of the tragedy, could not be reached for comment.
Off.
Diana.
Cal, please. Our generation takes its lead from you. We always have. You must face this. If you don't, neither will the rest of us. And it just goes on.
There's nothing I can do from here. Go back to your island, Diana. You're safe there.
Neither will the rest of us. Who does she mean?
Those who, a decade ago, felt the crush of Superman's greatest and most necessary failing, his inability to perceive himself as the inspiration that he is. The shock of seeing Superman abandon his never-ending battle took an immeasurable toll on his peers, his friends. Some, their spirits stripped, chose Superman's path and retired. Others, unable to turn their backs completely on the world they knew, continue to use their special abilities to champion order, though in some most clandestine ways. In the time of Superman's absence, Keystone City has become a utopia, a protectorate, relentlessly patrolled by a gale force once human. No one sees him. No one hears him. He runs a lonely race. But all who live here have felt his presence. He is everywhere at once, a guardian angel who rights even the most harmless of wrongs with lightning speed. He lives between the ticks of a second. He is the Flash. Another of yesterday's guardians has since claimed the Pacific Northwest as her area. Some call her a savior, others an environmental terrorist. She is feared, and justly, by those who would deprive the beasts and birds of their sanctuary. Her name is Hawkgirl. Yet another takes his refuge high above the Earth's surface, his self-made emerald city twinkling in the night sky like a verdant star. There, the Green Lantern, protector of Sector 2814, commands a lonely throne, ever vigilant, ever waiting, for signs of threats extraterrestrial. He waits still. The gods of yesteryear, apart from the common man they once gladly served, have left humanity to its own fate.
And what of those who weren't gods? I seem to remember another. One who made his home in Gotham City. What has become of the Batman?
Batman.
Halt. Lay down your arms.
We give up.
Bat Drone 1137 reporting in. Miscreants in custody.
Batman has his city under control.
That's all? That's what you have to show me?
That disturbs you?
Yes! You're an angel. That makes you a messenger of hope!
At no time did I promise you hope.
A greater power sent you. Your very existence is a testimony to faith. You mean all you have to tell me is that those who could save us won't? This is what Wesley saw. The destruction of Kansas was truly the beginning of the end. For those call themselves heroes now share a silent guilt. Look around us. They're worse than before. They're not acting out of boredom. They're acting with abandon. Before Kansas, they at least had some grasp of responsibility. Now they haven't even that. Wonder Woman is right. Don't you understand? If any of us are to survive, now more than ever, we need hope! And suddenly, there was a wind. No, not a wind. A blur of motion, bending the steel of the erstwhile hero's weapons. Even before bystanders had freed themselves from the cable car that had almost plummeted to the river below, they knew.
What the hell?
We all did. We knew and remembered.
What?
Look!
No.
Up in the sky!
He had not turned his back to us.
Oh my God.
He stands in the sky,
No.
our faith rewarded.
Oh no.
He is returned, and
It's been 10 years. Oh my God. It's him.
But then I see it. The visions that had plagued Wesley. Death, destruction, chaos, unbearable sorrow. And Superman, surrounded by a blood-red haze, screaming with grief that was both tragic and terrible to behold. Dear God, the threat of Armageddon hasn't ended. It's just begun.
Chapter 2: Truth and Justice.
And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar, and the 7 angels prepared themselves to sound.
To sound? Angels? No. I'm with the angel, aren't I? Where have you taken me? I no longer have any sense of time or place.
Time has little meaning where we walk, Norman McCay. We move freely from moment to moment. Guided by your visions, I show you only that which we must see. You are disoriented?
Enormously. I wasn't really asleep, and yet I was dreaming again.
Were you? Now you must gather yourself. We have more to see.
Are we at the Statue of Liberty? Look at all these people. Immigrants? They seem so frightened.
Refugees of the outside world, hoping to escape its chaos.
This is my country. For years, the Americommando and his Minutemen have protected the U.S. from foreign threats, only to have overlooked the most insidious menace of all. The poor, tired, huddled masses camping on our shore, begging for citizenship. You immigrants dare expect sanctuary? America's not as big as it used to be. For God's sakes, Kansas is gone. We can't house you now. We can't even feed you now. But still you force yourselves on us. Well, no more. Today the Americommando declares war on the wretched refuse. At my command, the Minutemen will cleanse America's shores. We will defend this nation against...
Defend yourself, Americommando! This land is ours to guard!
America. Love it or leave it.
These aren't heroes. They're madmen. They're ready to battle over territory without bothering to care who's caught between them. Someone should do something.
Oh my God, it's them!
Indeed.
Angels. No, not angels. Gods themselves. Superman had returned. In doing so, drawing from seclusion the titans of yesteryear, their emerald flashes and scarlet strobes lighting the darkness of the day. Over the thunder of panic, I hear names familiar. Hawkgirl, Robin, the Ray. They sweep their foes aside like tenpins, while Wonder Woman protects the innocents. With a final red glare, the fight is over. Below, the bystanders buzz with gratitude. The reporters with questions. The heroes just as quickly depart towards a crowded building in the heart of the city. The UN building.
Superman! Superman, over here!
Superman, over here! Gotham Gazette!
Come on, Superman, what do you think?
Right over here.
Good afternoon. Many of you may remember us. We have been away for a while. That was our mistake. In our absence, a new breed of metahumans has arisen. A vast phalanx of self-styled heroes, unwilling to preserve life or defend the defenseless. A legion of vigilantes who have perverted their great powers, who have forsworn the responsibilities due them. We have returned to teach them the meaning of truth and justice. Together we will guide this new breed with wisdom, and if necessary, with force. Above all, we will restore order. We will make things right again.
Superman! Will there be others?
Our ranks will grow.
Are you prepared to shut down those who don't honor your principles?
I don't anticipate anyone acting without our sanction.
Anyone? Would that include Magog? Superman, are you truly prepared to confront Magog in light of what has gone before?
Magog will be dealt with if he surfaces. Given the consequences of his actions in Kansas, that seems unlikely. That is all.
Ladies and gentlemen of the United Nations Security Council, is anyone here delighted with what we've just heard? No? Why am I not surprised?
There is a fear in this room.
No. A validation of fear. Long have these mortals suspected that they are no longer the captains of mankind's destiny. Their suspicions have just been confirmed.
My dreams are so jumbled. They make so little sense. You said you're here to judge some coming evil. Superman is somehow entwined in this. He said his league will grow. Who else will he call to his side?
We shall see.
Bruce, I know you're down here. You can't hide from me.
I bow to your superior wisdom. After all, you know all about hiding, don't you, Clark?
The Batman. He looks so weathered. And that power brace.
Batman's body has finally failed him after years of battle and strain. His brace allows him to move as he once did.
Don't call me Clark. What happened to the manor?
Once my identity got exposed, Bane and Two-Face happened to it. Doesn't matter. I have everything I need here. Besides, it's not as if anyone intrudes on me. That hardly ever happens. Clark?
That's right. Someone told me your knights became free once Anarchy blew up Arkham Asylum and everyone in it.
Not to mention Belle Rev and Blackgate prisons. Not an action I'd condone. But tell me the thought of it doesn't give your invulnerable skin a little tingle.
I don't have that dark of a side.
Tell that to your tailor. I see you've modified the old S shield. Different red S on a black background. Black's a new look for you.
Bruce, the League needs you.
I'm busy. Drones 246 and 27B, resume patrol.
Too busy to help save the world?
The crisis at hand isn't new, Clark. Where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I should ask Magog. Frictions have been building to a head for years, Clark. The metahuman population has boomed while you were gone. Once ordinary folks decide you and I were too gentle and old-fashioned to face the challenges of the 21st century. They wanted their heroes stronger and more ruthless. Be careful what you wish for. Right now, the metahumans have the keys to Earth's kingdom. Wrestling control is a delicate matter. It requires finesse and meticulous, careful planning against those enemies more hidden. But it can be done. Without, I might add, Superman and the Justice League booming into town, punching now, asking questions later.
Dick doesn't see it that way.
You got him to reclaim the Robin mantle. Is that supposed to sway me? Try harder. He and I never did see eye to eye. I have my own controls in place, thank you. And they may be slower and more methodical than yours, but they get results. You used to brag that Metropolis was a utopia next to Gotham. Now who has the utopia?
Some paradise. From what I can see, Gotham is nearly a police state. You always favored scaring people and obeying the law, but this... You're willing to turn ordinary citizens into a superstitious, cowardly lot?
They'll fear me more than they'll trust you. I don't trust you. After all, you left. I stayed. We're not limited to Gotham, Clark. We've built a network that extends from here all the way through Star City.
We?
I have allies. Human allies. A little more in tune than your friends to humanity's needs. Green Arrow, Blue Beetle, Black Canary, we don't want to rule the world. We just want to straighten it out our way, by ourselves.
Then you're sure you won't join me?
For a man who can hear clouds scrape together, you don't listen very well. The only thing I wonder about your down and dirty, quick and fast totalitarian solutions is whether I'd be the first to be reformed by your new regime. Goodbye, Clark.
Were they ever friends? Batman and Superman. The way they bicker, it's hard to tell.
Great minds do not always think alike. In their day, they were the truest representatives of their kind. One, the zenith of human fortitude and ambition. The other, the pinnacle of otherworldly power.
Otherworldly? Of course, Superman is an alien.
An accident of birth. For most of his life, he walked among humans as well as above them. He remained tethered to human concerns through the love of an earthly woman, until her life was stolen.
And Wonder Woman?
Like Superman, a paradox. Eternal princess of the Amazons, she is both an ambassador of peace and a master of warfare. Of all Superman's lieutenants, it is she who bears watching most closely.
And so, as hours fold into days, we bear silent witness to Superman's squad, while they silence skirmish after skirmish. Whenever possible, Superman negotiates peace. Whenever impossible, he enforces it, at every turn, transforming enemies into allies.
Here's your coffee, Mr. Savage.
I said 2 sugars.
You ham.
I just had her trained.
Not very well. Hello, Luthor.
Mr. Savage, I see you've brought Miss Kyle and company with you. Perhaps you'd like to meet everyone. Come, join us. We call ourselves the Mankind Liberation Front. You all know Ibn al-Zufash, son of the Batman, and heir to Ra's al Ghul's empire. This is Lord Naga, who is Cobra, Miss Selina Kyle.
Who is Catwoman?
And her companion, Edward Nygma.
Who is the Riddler?
Who should be reminded that he is here solely as a grace to Miss Kyle.
Simmer down, Eddie.
Gentlemen, I need a status report. Zufash, where do we stand with medical attention and disaster relief for the Kansas victims?
Delayed. Perhaps for weeks.
Splendid. Tech dispersal this quarter, Selina?
We've integrated another 6 vigilantes. Given the Arkham and Blackgate survivors we've outfitted and renamed, we are now responsible for 8% of the superhero population.
Excellent. Now what's our outlook on...
Well, pardon me for questioning, but you're impeding public service? You're arming metahumans? Wouldn't all that serve to make the world a worse place to be? Where does the mankind liberation part come in? Did I miss something?
Selina, keep your guest in line.
Eddie.
Actually, Luthor, I had a similar concern. Might I assume that the MLF works to raise the stakes rather than lower them?
In a manner of speaking. No pain, no gain. Our objective is to heighten the tensions between humans and metahumans, to bring it to a head so that the humans have no choice but to reclaim the reins of world power, regardless of the cost. There will be war, bloodshed, but in the end, mankind will once again rule the earth.
Mankind. And that would translate as you guys. Wow. When is a villain not a villain?
When he labors for a greater good, Nygma. Which brings us to our new problem. The resurfaced Justice League, and how their untimely arrival has turned our 10-year agenda into a 10-day stratagem.
I never dreamed they'd return. Not in a million years.
Nevertheless, the gods have stepped down from Olympus. And frankly, I see several ways to turn their arrival to our advantage.
Your afternoon shave, Mr. Luthor?
Yes. Thank you, Captain. In fact, by entering into a certain alliance, I can guarantee a chance to hasten the current crisis to its end, by exacerbating it.
And in the meantime, we have nothing to fear from the League. Not even from Superman.
He will not touch me. He will not! He cannot. In fact, I've got the most marvelous anti-Superman plan. Isn't that right, boy?
Absolutely, Mr. Luthor.
Who?
The captain of the lightning and the thunder. Come, we have spent too much time wallowing in sin. There are other players that demand our attention.
Hey, come on, let me in!
You know the rules, kid. Metahumans and costume heroes only.
Good lord. These kids, they're monsters, beasts.
They will be tamed.
This alcohol doesn't help. Party's over. I'm here because the world's in bad shape. We have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. I want you to join the League. Willingly. Before you do, you should know that we have rules. Heroes act in a certain way. This isn't it. Those of you who take up with us willingly will be expected to behave better. Those who don't will be dealt with. Our job is thankless, but we do what has to be done. Right now, we're humanity's only hope. Be heroes.
How's it going, kids? Name's Ollie Queen. Green Arrow. So you've heard Big Blue's pitch, huh? Now for the democratic response.
Time shifts. Armies build. And Wesley Dodd's voice murmurs to me. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. A quote from Revelation. Another one. Revelation. Armageddon. Superman's troops soon wield power enough to shake the earth. Captain Comet. Power Girl. Atom Smasher. Red Tornado, the Flash, Lantern, even a new Sandman. Will they have enough power to save the world? And if so, from what? America heals, but America is not the world. Stronger in number, the League begins to confront anarchy on a global scale. Most metahumans fall into line at the mere sight of the man from Krypton. Many do not. Clearly, each rebellion frustrates him. Social government was never Superman's arena. Is it possible that the constant pressures thrust upon him as an emerging world leader could bend even a man of steel to the breaking point? Meanwhile, those closest to Superman begin to whisper another question. In all these missions, worldwide, they ask, how is it they have yet to unearth Magog? With his super senses, Superman should be able to find anyone. If he's looking.
It's not supposed to be this way.
What?
We shouldn't have to fight this hard.
You said it yourself, Cal. We do what we have to do.
And yet, we're ending up with more captives than converts. What do we do with those who refuse to see the light?
I have a suggestion. Follow me. Quite the kingdom, Arthur. An architecture worthy of Paradise Island. Every bit as beautiful as any place above the sea.
More. The tides of time have been kind to you, Princess. You've not aged a day since we last met.
Would that the outside world had fared so well, Arthur. But times above have grown hard and harsh. The seas provide the perfect buffer between your world and ours. Bearing that in mind, we have come to ask permission to create here an underwater penal colony for rebellious metahumans.
What?
Don't insult me by acting disingenuous, Superman. It's not as if we're unused to being burdened with the surface world's refuse. Permission denied.
Arthur, if you could only see the trouble we're in up there. Join us. Stand at our side as you did in your youth.
A faint invitation. Though I missed the camaraderie, you know I was never comfortable being your Aquaman. My subjects need me, Princess. You have hundreds of champions to defend a few landmasses. I protect the other 70% of the world. And there's only one of me. I have responsibilities you cannot even dream of. You, Princess, surely understand how uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
I no longer have my royal station, Arthur.
No.
Yes. Recently, my Amazon sisters decreed that I had failed in my mission as an ambassador, that I had not made the world a better place. They stripped me of my royalty and my heritage. I am no longer welcome on Paradise Island.
I am sorry. And it was good to see you again, my friends. But that has no bearing on my decision.
Then resume your solitude, Arthur. Relish your world for so long as it lasts.
How long were you planning on keeping that from me?
Which, the prison or my loss?
Both. Diana, you have changed. And I don't like what you're asking me to do. I'm not used to forcing others to follow my lead. Now I'm supposed to jail those who won't? To act as judge and jury against our own kind? That's a fascist line, Diana.
Then get ready to cross it. We are at war, Cal, and we will take prisoners. We will have to. They're not our kind. We're protectors of humanity. They are barely human.
Is this you talking, Diana? I sense such anger in you.
Not anger, Cal. Passion.
Kyle, Diana, I thought you'd want to know. Word from the surface. It's Magog, Superman. They found him.
Gently. Gently. No, no, no! Damn it! Ah!
What are you doing back in Kansas, Magog?
Well. Look who it is. The Metropolis Milquetoast. I never left, Blue Boy.
I saw the footage of your last mission, And believe me, it will be your last. I never thought you'd go this far over the top. You led 6 unstable powerhouses against one pathetic parasite, an overkill gesture that murdered 1 million people.
And what are you gonna do about it? Go ahead. Take a swing. Punish me. Try to lock me away, if you've got the guts.
I'm not afraid of you, Magog.
Oh, get out of town. No, wait. You already did that. Actually, you've got a lot of nerve blaming me. This was your fault.
My fault?
Think back. You're the one who let himself get strung up by the man on the street. Vox Populi, man. Out with the old, in with the new. Brighter, faster, meaner. Next year's model. That's what the hungry crowd always wants. Had to have been eating at you for a while before I even came into town. Hell, they were calling you old-fashioned when I was a teenager. World's oldest Boy Scout. But you wouldn't change. Remember? The Daily Planet asked if that's why the Joker got so many notches on his belt when he blew into town.
Ah, the Daily Planet. Not so entertaining and trashy as the Gotham Gazette, but we'll give him something to write about, won't we? Gas masks on, boys. Wouldn't want to breathe this stuff in.
How many did he take out just that last time? 92 men?
And 1 woman.
Hell, we both tore up the city looking for that bastard. I really thought you or Batman would get to him first. Even I almost missed him. Almost.
Looks like you've got me, coppers. Well, back to Arkham we go. I have been missing my old padded cell lately.
I will never forget the look on your face when you saw me standing over that smoking creep. All the way to jail. I thought, what a sap. What an old woman. Blue Boy's dragging me in for having stones he doesn't. Times are tough. Joker had been deserving worse than cuffs for years, so I took it on myself to lay him down. I can't be judged for that. And I was right. They acquitted me. I was a hero, but you just wouldn't roll with it. You had to get in a last shot and piss me off. I wanted that torch passed. I wanted to cement my claim as Metropolis's new #1. And I won by default when you flew off with your cape between your legs. I never got a piece of you. And now, you're right here. Right where I want you. The way you took off, I always thought you were afraid of me. A lot of people did. But that wasn't it. You were afraid that I was the man of tomorrow. You were afraid of the future that I represented. Well, look around you. This is what I represent.
You must be proud.
Proud? Proud? God damn you! Proud of being man of tomorrow. Your fault, you bastard. The world changed, but you wouldn't. So they chose me. They chose the man who would kill over the one who wouldn't. And now they're dead. 1,000,000 ghosts. Punish me. Lock me away. Kill me. Just make the ghosts go away.
Cal?
We are at war.
War. An art at that. With one finishing stroke, I finally mastered. But to what ultimate triumph? Apocalypse is still helpless with those who cannot, will not help themselves. Often, I have considered uprooting the more aberrant lowlies, exiling them to some distant orb. But it seems unconscionable to inflict such grievous wounds on another planet. I'm sure you agree.
Far be it from me to argue with the Lord of Apocalypse. I'm impressed. Age has calmed your legendary temper. You seem fully in control. You're more like Darkseid than ever, Orion.
So it was written to be. Our story has always been a generational one. It is said that many men eventually become their fathers.
I wouldn't know. I heard you finally usurped Darkseid's throne. I was curious to see what you accomplished in this stead. Not much. Frankly, Orion, of all the old allies I have encountered, you disappoint me the most. You're a god. You have the power to change your world.
Or to destroy it. You would be surprised at how easily one can lead to the other. I thought I had transformed Apocalypse by finally overthrowing Darkseid's despotic rule. Imagine the horror of learning that, to the lowlies, ground under Darkseid's heel since Apocalypse was young, liberty was every bit as paralyzing as fascism. They rushed to elect a new leader. They chose me. Such was my reward. So bring them to my realm, Superman. Bring me those whose presence on your world you consider threatening. They cannot possibly be more challenging to me than my own subjects.
Deportation was never my intent. I have no desire to see anyone removed from their homeworld. Given the nature of my own struggle, I had hoped that Orion, the dog of war, could lend some wisdom. But I was mistaken. I can learn nothing from you.
That hardly matters. If this is about emancipating a world from fear's tyrannical shackles, it isn't my help you need.
Time folds, and a new structure arises from the ash fields of Kansas. An invention of necessity. A stronghold of justice. With the help of Mr. Miracle, scot-free. Orion's brother and the universe's greatest escape artist, Superman has created the perfect prison. A place to hold the metahumans who still resist the call of order. It seems unwise to contain so much power and fury under one roof. And yet, what other choice does Superman have?
It is a question he will ask himself 100 times in the days to come. Meanwhile, an ungodly fellowship has begun to manifest, one that may change all that we know thus far.
I'd like to congratulate our friend Zufaj for negotiating the one union that may yet make the world safe for mankind. Friends, I present to you our newest ally in the war against the gods.
Batman.
They've begun to build a gulag. You all know this.
I know that I don't want to spend the rest of my days there. I can hardly believe you're here. If I'd known that a common enemy could bring us together, I would have invented one years ago. This must be killing you.
Given the circumstances, what choice do I have but to throw in with Lex Luthor? Alone, neither you nor I can expect victory, but together, we can curtail the Justice League. Once and for all.
Chapter 3. Up in the Sky. And he cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices.
What?
Another vision?
They're coming more and more quickly. Dreams of Armageddon. Certainly you must share them. How else do you explain the road we walk? How else do you unerringly lead us to the tableau and realities behind my dreams?
I see many things, Norman McCay, but the future is not one of them. I do not lead you. You lead me inexorably to an imminent hour when judgment must be passed and justice served. Only you foresee the road to Ragnarok.
And with that pronouncement, we begin once more to wander the earth like spirits. Time ebbs and flows around us. Many of the places I see are new and strange. Others, all too familiar.
Once the Kansas wastelands were stripped of radiation by the ray, Superman's penitentiary was fast completed. The Gulag was built to imprison the deadliest and most uncontrollable of the superhumans. Thanks to its vast size, it was intended to house prisoners for months to come. Within 2 weeks of its construction, it filled beyond capacity. Still, the walls hold. Thanks in no small part to the Gulag's architect and warden. Once the greatest escape artist of 3 worlds, scot-free is an unparalleled master of bonds and traps. Under his command, guards stand ever vigilant over the belligerent and the repentant.
Magog? He looks so lost.
The tortures he visits upon himself are greater than any confinement.
But all the rest in the courtyard, they are gathered here for what purpose? So they can brood?
No. So they can learn.
It's really very simple. In this world, there is right and there is wrong.
Oh, yeah?
And that distinction is not difficult to make.
So where does robbing us of our freedom fall, O great and powerful Wizard of Oz?
Please understand our intent. None of you are here for punishment. You're here for education.
We're here because of forced busing, you stupid recording. How many different ways can you spew that Pollyanna crap?
The powers we have, the things we do, they're meant to inspire ordinary citizens, not intimidate them, not terrify them.
Day after day, he talks to us like we're the bad guys. Who bagged Eclipso, huh? Who toasted Ra's al Ghul? Guys like us, that's who. We save lives, man.
We cannot act as judge and jury. We adhere to a moral code based on the preservation of life.
Easy for him to say. Did he ever have to fight the Slaughter Brigade? Man of tomorrow, my ass. Try man of the 1950s. Times change, but he still expects everyone to live up to some cobwebbed code.
I'm sick of this medieval thinking. His coach is as empty as his stupid hologram.
Sorry you feel that way. That must be why you opened fire in the middle of a human crowd. Why you thought it was acceptable to endanger an entire cable car full of unarmed citizens. I'm sure Von Bach would agree with you. We brought him in for killing opponents who had already surrendered.
Schweinhund!
You have a lot to learn, Von Bach. All of you do. For those of you who've just arrived, I'm Captain Comet. I'm in charge of keeping the peace around here, and keeping all of you in line. Now get to it!
Ich werde ihn töten.
Excellent. Our spy cams should keep us up to date as the Gulag situation worsens.
That man by Luthor's side, the big one, who's always smiling. You called him Captain of the Lightning. Captain Marvel?
Yes. His role in this war remains a mystery, even to the old wizard who first called down the thunder for him. Even now, the wizard pleads for understanding, for help from his brethren.
Who are these people? Where are we?
The galactic lords and immortals who are the quintessence of all power cosmic. Shazam, Ganthet, the Phantom Stranger, Zeus, High Father. A group that congregates, perhaps to prevent each other from interfering, fearing that they may only make things worse. And now, myself. Excuse me for a moment, Norman McCay. I must confer with the others.
Clearly, that conversation wasn't meant for my ears. My senses assaulted by the argument of the gods, I turn away, only to face a dead man.
Hiya.
You can see me?
Even though I got no eyes. Pretty wild, huh? Name's Boston. I'm a ghost. Or a skeleton. Maybe both. Depends on how I'm feeling. Nice to meet you.
So this void is your realm?
Mine? Nah. I just enjoy bopping around the ethereal planes from time to time. I always liked to travel. Used to be with the circus. I was a daredevil trapeze jockey. Did stunts so dangerous they called me Dead Man. Now I'm the agent of a higher power. Can you imagine? Wait, who am I talking to? Of course you can. No offense, Padre.
Pastor. And no, frankly, I can't imagine any of this. Since seminary, I have been more philosopher than priest. In my church, I preach that God is not a person, but rather a force with many names.
Like Ramakrishna, for instance.
One that motivates us to master our own fate. I never believed in the old world notion of assigning a physical face to that of a force or its agents. But now, tell me, is the Spectre truly an angel?
Oh, absolutely. An angel of death. Don't get me wrong, he used to be a normal Joe. A cop, as I recall. But from the moment he got tapped by the Big G to be an avenging spirit, he started to lose touch with his human side. Heck, look at him. He ain't even wearing clothes under that cape and hood anymore. Long time ago, he was a superhero himself. Since then, he's gotten weirder, and now? Well, to tell you the truth, you can't be sure whose side he'll take in any of this. Capiche? And, speak of the angel, good talking with you, Padre. Don't be in any hurry. When you get to the other side someday, look me up.
So then I flew him up to about, right here, a few miles into space, and I said, "Do you see that beautiful blue marble, Brainiac? That's my world. Return it now."
Did he hear you?
Actually, no, not in airless space. Thankfully, Ray Palmer came up with these rebreathers so we can talk up here. But believe me, sound or no, Brainiac got the message. NORAD was back online within 5 minutes.
So did you destroy him?
Just short of. Buried some of his circuitry on Saturn, some on Argo, and the rest inside a Pulitzer Prize in Clark Kent's apartment.
Oh, that's funny. You never told me that story before. God, those were the days.
Easier, anyway. Diana, what's this about being ousted by your own people? When did this happen?
Shortly after you went into seclusion. For years, I had been the Amazon's ambassador to the outside world. My mission was to spread a message of peace and order. As the world continued to darken, there was some doubt as to how well I had done my job. My Amazon sisters, my own mother, came to suggest that perhaps I had failed. They actually put me on trial. I pleaded my case, but in the end, they declared that I had indeed not changed man's world, that it had changed me. They stripped me of my royalty and heritage. There may have been some justice to their decision.
Do you believe that?
The Amazons believe in peace through strength. Too often I relied on an olive branch and not a sword.
I always admired your gentility.
It didn't get the job done.
You did your best.
Then why isn't the world better?
There are degrees.
How many degrees were you interested in hearing about when you retired? You said it yourself once, Cal. We are warriors. We have an obligation to wage combat.
Given who we are, Diana, given the power we possess, we have a greater obligation to keep the peace. Only the weak succumb to brutality.
Look at them, boy. Fighting and destroying, murdering innocents, and not a care in the world. And look, they've even killed little Billy Batson.
Those things never happened.
But they could have. And really, that's the point, isn't it? Superhumans can do anything they please. They can maim. They can kill. They've made the world a very ugly place. Fortunately, you don't have to take part in their world, do you?
No. No!
That's right. You'll stay right where I order you to stay. Our old friend Dr. Savannah saw to that, didn't he? These little worms, crawling right up the ear and into the brain, they make one so susceptible to suggestion. Here, let me get that. Ingenious little bugger Savannah was. Do you suppose that when they coined the term mad scientist they were thinking of him? I bet they were. Well, rest in peace, Savannah. Science marches on. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out.
Shiz.
Oh, no. There'll be no retreat. Not yet. I still have a very special job for you. Batman, there you are. Well, what do you think?
I think that you authorized triple shifts without telling me.
Strength in numbers. Took you a long time, but you finally learned that. Magnificent, aren't they? Between the designs for your bat drones and my production capabilities, Justice League doesn't stand a prayer of survival. Soon we will be able to crush them with an unyielding legion of steel soldiers.
I can feel your pulse throbbing from here, Luthor. Don't double-cross me. Our objective is world order, not world domination. Don't forget your agenda.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
Ridding the world of the Justice League is a necessary evil. Mankind was never meant to bow before a Kryptonian and his ilk.
My thoughts exactly. Once Superman and his toadies are out of the way, the Mankind Liberation Front can seize power. And with your little robo-bats keeping the peace, return the reins of civilization to the humans.
Sounds like a plan. Then again, so does this. Can't we just drop a K-bomb on Big Blue Spit Curl?
Sadly, Mr. Queen, kryptonite no longer packs the punch it did in the good old days, as I learned the hard way. Chalk it up to the solar radiation Superman's cells have been guzzling all these years. He's at the height of his invulnerability. Once war begins, Batman, can your players advance to the front lines if necessary?
We'll be in place, Luthor. Obviously, we haven't the raw might to match Superman's army, but we have the fire of youth on our side. The sons and daughters of many Leaguers have come to lend their support.
And they're prepared to fight tooth and nail with the generation that sired them. Father.
Aren't all young people, son? They're prepared to strike when I give the signal. Lex, I assume your tactical strategy somehow involves the gulag.
Why, yes.
Details.
Soon enough. In fact, I'm awaiting word myself. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I know what you're thinking. I do.
I'm aware of that, old friend. But let's not do this telepathically. You won't stay focused. Here, have some tea. Talk to me. Just relax and talk.
Who? In this form, in every man. Someone who so desperately longed to understand the human psyche that he finally, in one terrible moment, opened his mind to the world and was forever shattered by its thoughts. He was once the Martian manhunter. Now he is not much of anything.
John, can you verify what I've been suspecting?
I will attempt. Too much noise. Too much.
Shh. It's okay.
Now, I want to stay. I want to matter. You don't think I'll help?
John, you fought the good fight longer than any of us. You've done all that's ever been asked of you. And today was no exception. You've paid your dues, old friend. Go home. Rest. Dream of red sands and silent stars.
Captain Marvel mills about, his eerie grin carving a swath through Batman's ranks.
May I take your coat, ma'am?
No one breathes in his presence. What is he thinking, they wonder? What will he do next? To them, he is a shark, trawling for prawn. I have heard him called the world's mightiest mortal. No doubt. The intimidation his mere presence exudes is uncanny. Clearly, these heroes regard him with a growing unease accorded only one another.
Germany is all clear, Austria looks clear, and Italy. Metahuman activity has been abolished in Europe, moving on to Africa.
I watch Superman and the League review their progress on Earth, while they watch from Green Lantern's space station high above. Some of the Leaguers question the Gulag, and whether putting all the metahumans into one pressure cooker is wise. But none say anything to Superman. What happens next is, for the first time, my own fault. I have overheard Flash described as a man too fast to be contained by one plane of existence. Apparently, entire strata of reality are open to him. So settled am I in my invisible role of spirit that I have forgotten that fact. Ah!
Where did you come from? Answer me, damn it. Why are you here?
Well?
My name is Norman McCay, and I'm supposed to. This isn't going to make any... Please understand. A catastrophe comes. I see armies raised against you. I warn you.
Warn? Me?
And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up, and the sun and air were darkened. Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come.
Listen to me. I don't know who you are, or where you come from, but your words are meaningless. Armageddon is hardly on our calendar. These are grim days, but we have matters fully under...
Holy God! Word just came in from the Gulag. There's a riot going on. The prisoners have gone berserk.
Then here's what we...
Flash, Green Lantern, Power Girl, to the Gulag. Now, take control.
Through peaceful means.
By whatever means necessary. I want a status report as soon as possible. Ray, Phoebus, be ready to follow if called. Where did that old man go? Who was he?
I don't know. Why did you undermine my authority?
Why did I saw a crisis. I reacted in a confident and unqualified manner. The others need to see that sort of authority. From someone. Pull yourself together. We're overdue for a meeting with the UN. They can't help but know about the Gulag by now.
Then I guarantee they're wondering when we started making up our own laws. Let's go. We have to convince them that we're the good guys.
We're so flattered that the mighty Justice League has finally deemed the human race worthy of consideration.
There's no need for sarcasm, Secretary General.
Forgive me. We're simply no longer accustomed to being advised or consulted. Imagine our surprise, for instance, to learn that the center of the U.S. now harbors a metahuman prison. You insist that, hard as this is to believe, it poses no danger, that those incarcerated are fully docile and eager to assimilate. Is that true, Superman?
Not entirely. The Gulag is a work in progress. The League must find a way to guide those who insist upon working against the common good. I admit to some danger, but I chose to put the renegades together where we can monitor and teach them.
Inside a giant powder keg. Superman, the confidence and hope your reemergence engendered is fast eroding. The global economy is still catastrophic, world trauma staggering. We will not risk another Kansas. I can promise you that.
Meaning?
Meaning that we must begin to decide some things for ourselves. Good day.
Stop looking so stunned. Do you honestly believe they'll sit back and let us solve the problems at our leisure? They're scared, and their fears may soon trump our solutions. We have to act, Cal, whether you like it or not. You're a world leader. And the League is getting tired of waiting for you to adjust to that role. As far as I'm concerned, if the situation with the Gulag's prisoners gets 1 micron worse, the League will be forced to make a final, decisive action.
Good news. The moment has come to begin our final strike. The Gulag is in turmoil. The inmates are, dare I say it, revolting. Superman's prison has become a cauldron of hate and chaos. That's our cue to deploy our Steel Legion, but not before someone tips that scalding cauldron right onto the Justice League. Someone I've been saving for just such a task.
Me? But all our talks...
It's as I've always said. The superhumans are evil. You can't argue that.
But...
Only you can ensure their destruction. I'm ordering you to demolish the Gulag so that its prisoners roam free. Free and angry. And easily eradicated in a war that no one can win. Save us.
No, I...
Do it. And worry no more about losing control. You won't. I've seen to that. Go ahead. Tumble down the walls of Jericho. I insist.
Hello, Billy.
He's not... You're kidding me. All this time we've been in mortal fear, not of Captain Marvel, but Billy Batson?
Yes, Ollie. I'd suspected it for a while, and John's telepathic probe confirmed it. It seems Marvel's dual identities are in quite a bit of mental conflict. All these years, as Billy grew to manhood, Luthor kept him in check by turning him into a stew of schizophrenic psychoses.
But our goals!
My only goal in allying with you was to learn your connection to Captain Marvel. In this entire global conflict, he was the only wild card. And I hate wild cards.
You double-crossed me.
I learned from you.
Then may we assume, Father, that you've given the signal?
Zufash, you traitor!
Absolutely. Strike!
No!
Ted, follow Luthor. Don't let him get... Billy, no! Come back!
Bat drones activated. Operation Subdue Alexander Luthor.
What the? No! No! Let me go! No!
Billy, stop. You don't have to run anymore. I figured out what Luthor did to you. Captain Marvel retired early, didn't he, Billy? Of all of us, he had the hardest time adapting to the grim new world around him. One sad day, he spoke his magic word for the last time and vanished inside a scared little boy. Then Luthor found you, took you under his wing, told you the same thing the world was telling you, that superheroes were monsters, terrible, repulsive beasts. And he never let you forget that you had one hiding deep down inside you. Don't think like that, Billy. He's twisted your brain around that insanity. The worms, they're engineered to secrete certain chemicals. Billy or Marvel, either one, they eat away at your mind. They're driving you mad, Billy. Don't let that happen. The world depends on it. You can fight. Billy, look out! The worm container!
The worms! No!
Billy, no! Stay calm. I can help. Stay calm!
Shazam!
Damn it!
Batman, are you alright?
For the moment. What about Luthor and his men? Are they accounted for?
In custody. Every one. What about Marvel?
No longer a wild card. Unfortunately. He's still in Luthor's thrall. God help us.
Swords and battle armor. Yet another side of you I'm not comfortable with.
Get used to this one. A soldier, unprepared, has no business calling herself a soldier.
More Amazonian wisdom. Isn't it possible that we've already won the big fight? Once the rioters are calmed, we can instill— Ow!
You always were a bit vulnerable to magic. Be careful. That sword was a gift from Hephaestus. It can carve the electrons off an atom.
And you expect to use it?
I expect to be a soldier.
I will not sanction lethal force against the rioters. I'm uneasy with the blade.
Not all of us have heat vision.
There are lines we do not cross. We have rules.
And the prisoners don't. That's why they're prisoners. And if they don't remain prisoners, you're big blue marble teeters on the brink. You made the decision to incarcerate them for the good of mankind, remember?
And maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I should let the humans decide how—
Can you hear me? Send help! For God's sake, can you hear me? We're in trouble. The fight at the gulag is going worse than expected. The prisoners have already begun to breach the walls. They can't hold much longer, nor can we. They've killed Captain Comet. Von Bach. He snuck up behind him and broke his back.
No. No!
Comet? Adam? Gone? Just like that? How could they?
So your world's finally turned completely topsy-turvy. How do we handle this?
I don't know.
Then I do. You're going to confront the prisoners and give them an ultimatum. They must surrender.
And if they refuse?
Then it's war.
But you can't have a war without people dying.
Her lips brush his with the sound of marble scraping steel. It is a kiss completely devoid of passion. It is a final farewell.
Bruce! I need your help.
We've been through this already.
Shut up! I don't have time for your holier-than-thou cracks. You're not above all this. Not now. Not with the stakes this high. We're racing to the end of the world, Bruce. I've got a half-second lead, but by all the stars in heaven, that's not nearly enough.
The gulag's ready to blow.
Yes. Even as we speak, Wonder Woman and the League stand outside its walls, ready to bring them down and everyone inside.
You mean to tell me you never imagined it might come to this? Did you ever consider that a war might be for the best? That perhaps humanity's only chance is for the superhumans to swallow each other?
Don't give me that. The deliberate taking of human, even superhuman life goes against every belief I have, and that you have. That's the one thing we've always had in common. It's what makes us who we are, more than anyone else in the world. When you scratch everything else away from Batman, you're left with someone who doesn't want to see anyone die. We can still intercede. Gather your forces. Together we can be the world's finest team. Tell me you'll help me.
I will tell you this one thing. There's a player you haven't counted on. Captain Marvel.
Marvel?
He's been brainwashed. Severely. Once there was a good kid inside him, but he's been driven out, and I don't know how you'd ever find him again. Marvel's headed for the gulag, Clark. He's going to break it wide open onto the Justice League. What do you expect me to do against... Clark? So that's what that feels like.
Without a word, my spectral guide opens all horizons to me at once. I see the air scorch in Superman's wake. I see the dawning horror in Wonder Woman's eyes as a thunderbolt cracks open the walls of the gulag, releasing those within. I see Ragnarok at last unfold. And worst of all, I see the desperate hopes of the one man who might yet stop it, turned into ash and cinders. By a single bolt of lightning. Armageddon has arrived.
Chapter 4: Never-Ending Battle.
There were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. This was my dream. No more. It's happening. Just as the visions foretold. Superman came too late. War has begun. Do something. For the love of God. Make it stop.
I can take no action. Not yet.
Why not? What in God's name has to happen? How much time must pass?
There will be a reckoning, Norman McCay. Be prepared. As the scriptures say, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come.
Is that the only reason I am here? To watch some hideous judgment? Superman and I share the same terror. His face is a mask of confusion. He cannot comprehend how things came to this. Once upon a time, Captain Marvel was one of his mightiest allies. Now whatever wisdom he once possessed has been dulled by Luthor's brainwashing, making the Captain a soldier of chaos. The one warrior who can counter Superman's every move and prevent him from obtaining the battle.
Damn it, Marvel! Snap out of it! You can't do this! Too much happening too fast! We have to work together!
Superman believes himself to be the only force on Earth powerful enough to end the superhuman war. He is wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet! Now, we have multi-megaton nuclear explosives held in reserve for just this moment. Take a good look at mankind's last hope. Capable of vaporizing a country. Sheathed in armor and force fields unbreachable by all cataloged metahuman powers, even Superman's. Its deployment system is virtually undetectable. All our projections estimate that one will do the job. As Secretary General of these United Nations, I have sanctioned the use of 3. Listen to me and understand. There is nothing rational about dispatching tactical nuclear weapons into the heart of my own country. But these are not rational times. We are at a flashpoint of human existence. My God, you can even hear the battle here. At any moment, it threatens to spread forth and engulf the world. What then? What then? The only way to ensure that future generations remember that this is humanity's final option is to ensure that there will be future generations after today. Let us strike while we can. Godspeed.
Even in the brightest day, the dust of battle eclipses the sun itself. The prisoners released by Marvel's thunderbolts strike out blindly. Wonder Woman's troops return force in kind. Both sides fight with abandon. Whatever heroic moors of combat might have once ruled them become nostalgic memories. This isn't a fight that will eventually die down. This is a forest fire that's just begun. A war that may well end the world. Any instant now there will be fatalities, and no way to turn back. With Superman deadlocked, their only prayer of deliverance rests with a force from up high.
Ollie, try and tranquilize as many of the belligerents as you can. Ted, erect force fields around the fighting and then engage the heavy hitters. We don't want this to spread. Bat drones, contain as many of them as you can.
Batman's legions soar in like a silent cavalry. Man or machine, each agent knows his mission. Stem the loss of life. Prevent the riot while there's still time to exert control. The sheer force of Batman's presence kindles a desperate ember of hope. Too late.
No, please don't.
Du wirst wie ein Fehler sequetzt.
Diana, no!
He left me no choice. They began this, I will finish it.
Did you see that? She killed him! Wonder Woman killed Von Bach! Get her!
And we will finish it without you, Bruce. Your people are out of their league.
Why? Because we're here to save lives rather than take them?
We're here to force peace. We're left with no choice. If you stand in the way, I will remove you.
Force peace. The Amazon tenet. Spread love and understanding, but don't be afraid to bloody your knuckles doing it. Don't tell me you still subscribe to that paradox. I've heard rumors that the Amazons relieved you of your duties and heritage for not being strident enough. Face the truth, Diana. You won't win back your royal station by overcompensating.
You aristocratic bastard! How dare you condemn me! I will not be judged by you! Do you hear me? Do you understand? After all these years, you have the nerve to swagger out of your cave and expect everyone to bow before your precious wisdom? Well, it is too late for that, Bruce. You tried to hold order, but it's too far gone. Your only option now is war. Our only answer is...
Marvel! In the name of heaven, wipe that empty smile off your face! You were a friend once! How can you do this? How? Look at the horror you've let loose! Damn it, say something for yourself!
Shazam! 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 Shazam!
Bombers Alpha, Omega, and Ragnarok inbound to target.
Open your eyes, Diana. Your answer flies on metal wings. Those are nuclear carriers, the ultimate war bringers. Our war is not one act of violence, the cost of some lives. Our war ends in extinction. If you're that devoted to Amazon honor, if your soul genuinely longs for atonement on Amazon terms, then let's keep fighting and let the planes do their work.
Despite my spectral form, I can feel the heat of Batman's lasers. I feel the strain of titanium muscles. I hear the whisper of a pilot begging forgiveness over the sound of distant thunder. No! One of the pilots got through. He's released the bomb!
Shazam!
Enough! Enough!
Superman. He grabbed Marvel. The lightning hit him instead. He's just Billy Batson again. For one frozen instant, the storm clears. Fingers that confuse coal into diamond hold Batson's jaw. And in the hush, ears that can hear a cell divide pick out with chilling ease the scream of human rage. A wave of X-rays confirms the bomb's potency. A telescopic glance calculates the seconds before impact. He must act. Now.
It is time.
What?
Judgment has come, Norman McCay. The hour tolls. Our entire journey has brought us to this moment.
But the bomb! The bomb!
Will determine the fate of the world. If it drops, the superhumans will surely die. But humanity will be spared their violence. If not, they will live on, to fight a battle that will, in time, swallow the earth. In either case, we face the evil of genocide, and my task is to punish those responsible for evil. But who shall be held accountable? Whose sin is this? The humans or the superhumans? Tell me, Norman. Judge.
Me?
Yours is the soul that guides me.
How can I? There's no evil here. There is a tragedy and bedlam and...
Judge. Carefully.
I don't know what to do. You can see that, can't you? Every choice that I've made so far has brought us here and has been wrong. So listen to me, Billy. Listen harder than you ever have before. Look around us. Look what we've come to. There's a bomb falling. Either it can kill us, or we run rampant across the globe. I can still stop the bomb, Billy. That much I'm sure of. What I don't know is whether I should be allowed to. Superhumans, or mankind, one will pay the ultimate price. And that decision is not for me to make. I'm not a god. I'm not a man. But you, Billy, you're both. More than anyone who ever existed, you know what it's like to live in both worlds. Only you can weigh their worth equally. Fight the brainwashing, Billy. You can let me go, or with a word, you can stop me. Do you understand the choice that can be made by you alone? Then decide. Decide the world.
Shazam!
Billy!
Shazam! Shazam! Shazam!
Judgment.
Everything. The superhumans. All gone?
No. No.
Where is he going?
Almost certainly to confront his human attackers. He feels completely alone. He need not. There were survivors, sheltered under the shields of the Green Lanterns, spirited away by others. They are fewer in number, and their pain is great, but their war is over. Judgment has been passed. I am no longer needed. Farewell, Norman McCay.
Farewell? Farewell? You think you brought me all this way just to watch people die? Think again! You want to confront evil? Then get us the hell to the UN. Now! You saw Superman. You saw an anger that could twist steel. If what happens next happens the only way it can, and you let it, that is evil.
Run! He's bringing the whole building down!
God in heaven, run! He's gone berserk!
He's bringing the roof down. He'll kill them all! Somebody's got to do something!
After 10 years, he has finally let free a wrath that could cower Satan himself. How can any man possibly calm the fury he feels towards his persecutors?
I can reach behind it. Do you really think he's mad at them? He's raging at himself. Let me talk to him. Now. Clark, don't. You blame yourself for Captain Marvel, for Magog and Kansas, For 10 years that ended today. Yes, you're angry, but in that anger you're forgetting once more what humans feel, what they fear. They won't forgive you for this, Clark. Forgive yourself.
Why are you here?
To bear witness. Listen to me, Clark. Of all the things you can do, all your powers, the greatest has always been your instinctive knowledge of right and wrong. It was a gift of your own humanity. You never had to question your choices. In any situation, any crisis, you knew what to do. But the minute you made the super more important than the man, the day you decided to turn your back on mankind, that completely cost you your instinct. That took your judgment away. Take it back. If you want redemption, Clark, it lies in the very next decision you make. Make it as a man, and make it right.
Clark?
Bruce? Diana? Survivors? How?
With his dying breath, Captain Marvel managed to detonate the bomb high above Ground Zero. Thanks to that, and the combined power of the Green Lanterns and others, there were survivors.
How many?
Enough to leave us with the same problem as before. The same impasse, the same dangers, the same distrust, the same everything.
What now?
Now we put things right. Years ago, I let those I swore to protect drive me away. We all did. And that was the day all of this began.
We saw you as gods.
As we saw ourselves. And we were both wrong. But I no longer care about the mistakes of yesterday. I care about coping with tomorrow. Together. The problems we face still exist. We're not going to solve them for you. We're going to solve them with you. Not by ruling above you, but by living among you. We will no longer impose our power on humanity. We will earn your trust, using the wisdom one man left as his legacy. I asked him to choose between humans and superhumans. But he alone knew that that was a false division, and made the only choice that ever truly mattered. He chose life, in the hope that your world and our world could become one world once again.
Time folds inward. Healing has begun. And in the twinkling of an eye, great powers reconstruct a once stately manor into a hospital ward patrolled by a man who has traded black garb for white. Under his watch, survivors ravaged by the effects of the bomb are nurtured and cared for, while those who helped bring about the cataclysm suffer their own unique justice.
Hey, Luthor. Shazam.
Shut up.
Bones are set, burns are salved, and wounds are mended. Here and across the sea.
Diana of Themyscira, I crown you Princess of the Amazons once again, and charge you with the education of these young heroes. It falls to you to show them the moderation and wisdom you have learned in your time in man's world. You have made me proud, daughter.
Amazon princess, what a load of crap.
Shut up and listen to the teacher, you moron.
Through her courage, the princess is at last granted her crown. No longer does she see herself as a failed student. She is a teacher whose work is just beginning. Across the world, new roles are embraced, new alliances forged.
We'd like to welcome the Honorable Mr. Jordan, the Green Lantern, to the United Nations Security Council as the representative of New Oa, the Council of Superhumans. Thank you for your presence as an equal member of this body, Mr. Jordan.
After far too long a time, the gods have chosen to work with mankind towards a common good. Only one works alone.
Quite a memorial.
As it should be. not just for those claimed by the bomb, but for all those who lost their lives to our mistakes.
Let them rest in peace, Cal. They'll only haunt you if you forget what they taught you. Speaking of which...
What's this?
A gift. A little something to help you see more clearly.
Clark Kent's glasses. It's been a while, but I suppose I'll need to see clearly if I'm going to plow all of Kansas in time for planting season. Thank you, Diana.
Take care, Clark.
Take care, Diana.
All the sins have been exposed, Spectre. Tell me, in the end, who do you punish? Who is responsible for what has happened?
No one need suffer any further for the tragedies we have witnessed, Norman McCay. Do not mock me.
I'm not. I'm merely wondering. When you first appeared before me, you said you needed a human soul to be your anchor. And yet, you yourself were once an ordinary man. Tell me, what would his perspective have been?
An excellent question. Be well, Norman McCay. You have watched the Titans walk the earth, and you have kept stride. Perhaps you are more like them than you realize. You exist to give hope.
And the Lord God sent his angel to show his servants. And so the crisis passes. There is no grand celebration. There is too much pain to be forgotten, too much rebuilding to master. But there is faith. And so, though my visions no longer plague me, I preach the lessons they have taught me. That a dream is not always a prophecy. That a future, like so much else, is open to interpretation. And that hope is brightest when it dawns from fear. Grace be with you all. Amen.
Epilogue. 1 year later.
Welcome to Planet Krypton, where the heroes are here to serve you.
Greetings, citizens, smoking or non-smoking.
Be nice, Clark.
You don't find any of this unsettling?
It's in the upbringing. I'm accustomed to seeing mortals paying tribute to the gods. It's not a church, Clark. It's a restaurant. Relax.
So where is he?
You're the one with X-ray vision. Did you look behind the giant penny?
You didn't tell him, did you?
Of course not. If it actually means seeing him surprised, who am I to hoard the moment?
It's awfully crowded. You sure we won't be recognized?
Hardly likely. In the first place, you wrote the book on secret identity.
And in the second place, amidst all this tawdry bric-a-brac, I doubt they'd take notice of us if we were fighting the Legion of Doom in full costume. Clark, Diana.
There you are. You snuck up on me. Me. How did you do that? It's good to see you under brighter circumstances, Bruce. How are the boys?
Dick's headed for full recovery. Ebene, well, Dick's daughter is counseling him. Maybe he'll turn around yet, if he can shed the lesson of the League of Shadows. That's what happens when you're raised by an isolated society of zealots. You end up a little brainwashed.
You don't say.
May I bring you something to drink?
Water's fine.
Coffee.
Milk.
And keep it coming. So I gather from your communique we have business.
We have some things to settle, at least. News to share. You and I haven't really spoken much since Captain Marvel. But before we begin, I think it's appropriate to give a moment to those who fell in battle. We're long overdue. To past friends.
Hi, I'm Robin. Of course you are. Are you ready to order? What do you recommend? Today's special is the Power Girl Chicken Sandwich. The cut? Breast. I also recommend the Dial H for hoagie.
I'll just have the giant turtle soup.
And for you, sir?
Do you serve anything like beef bolognese?
There's Starro the casserole.
Fine.
Steak. Well done.
Which? There's the man of beef, there's the...
Steak. Well done. The teaching must be going effectively for you, Diana. Can't remember the last time I saw someone destroying the Eiffel Tower on the evening news.
It's tough. If the experience of Gulag showed us anything, it's that students have to want to learn. Clearly, what we went through gave them plenty of incentive.
And you, Clark? Still doing your best to restore the agricultural balance? How do you make out with irradiated soil?
I have no interest in growing 10-foot carrots, as when we built the Gulag, the ray was a big help in stripping the land of its radioactivity. Past that, it's simply a matter of hard work and patience. I imagine you can relate.
It's been a long road to rehabilitation for the injured. Fortunately, I'm not laboring alone. I was able to put several members of the Mankind Liberation Front to work in our ad hoc hospital. They're pulling their weight. Vandal Savage alone has picked up quite a few healing tricks in his 50,000 years.
And you've had no trouble with the MLF.
Inhibitor collars keep the rowdier ones subdued.
Even Luthor?
Not so much. I caught him down in the cave twice last month trying to hack the computer. He sends his bests.
Really?
No. That's not well done. Not a shade over medium. Miss!
Here.
Don't tell me that's it. We could have compared resumes by phone. We're here solely to play catch-up.
Not exactly. We have something to announce.
You're pregnant.
How did you...
Observation. For an ageless Amazon of perfect physique, you've put on a pound or two. That was my first clue. Then there were others. My best to you both. Congratulations on bringing another spit-curled demigod into the world. Sorry if I stepped on your denouement, Princess.
Always the detective. Now let's test your escape artistry. I want a commitment from you. I'd like you to be the child's godfather.
What?
Me? I don't know what to say.
Then the day is full of surprises.
News to you, I take it.
What isn't when it comes to her?
Hardly Athena's wisdom at work, Diana. My record as a parent isn't spotless.
Bruce, I'll be the first to admit I know little about fatherhood. But I do know this. There are things that the Batman can teach our child that Clark and I can't. That we would never even think of.
More coffee, sir?
Oh, yes. But we're of such different schools. You and Clark, you rule by trust. I rely on fear.
Then let's talk about what we're all most afraid of. Look at the lesson we just learned. Right now, the scales of the world power are balanced, but still too easy to tip. Our child, more than any other, will need the leavening influence of a mortal man, a moral man, who we can count on. You're right about me. Trust is the center of my world. I don't even know if that makes me an expert on it, but I know I can trust you. Despite our differences, over the years, I always have.
It's settled then.
You realize you've just handed me influence over the most powerful child in the world.
I thought you agreed rather quickly.
I'm sure we can work out some sort of shared custody. The baby should probably not spend all its time in seclusion with us. After all, we wouldn't want the child to be raised by an isolated society of zealots.
Touché. Have you given any thought to a name? Bruce is good. The child of Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman. Imagine what kind of kid he'll
Chill.
be.
Battler for truth, justice, and a new American way. I can hardly wait to see it for myself. Let's just go home and dream about the future.
Kingdom Come, the complete audio epic. Starring Peter Kendall as Superman. Lena Chillingerian as Wonder Woman. Nick Wolf as the Batman. Jeremy Doyle as Pastor Norman McCay. Rob Dickerson as the Spectre and Captain Marvel. Michael Sangregorio as Lex Luthor. with a special appearance by Brendan Maly as the Joker, featuring the voices of Jeremy Brauner, Michael Lasry, Kevin O'Leary, Morgan Vasquez, Phil Corso, Mike Bufis, and Brendan Clare. Engineered and recorded at WMSC Studios by Mike Bufis.